let's talk about everything that I plan to make for this last quarter of the year, which includes fall makes, Christmas gifts, and even some baby knits. My name is Emily Crow from The Cozy Crow, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And today we are celebrating fall, and I am so excited to be talking about all the things that I hope to be making in the coming months, especially as I am gearing up for the colder weather, planning on having another kiddo, and everything that entails. I'm going to be splitting this video up into like 3 different parts. So we're going to talk about first fall makes, the things I'm hoping to make this fall, have a fall vibe, yarns that are inspiring me for the fall. So that'll be the bulk of this video. Then we're going to talk about Christmas gifts. That's going to be a pretty quick spot because I have just a couple things that I know I want to make. And then we're gonna finish off with all the baby makes that I have in store. I really hope I can make things in all of these categories before the end of the year, but just breaking it up a little bit so that if you're really only here for fall stuff, you can always peace out early. But if you want to see all the baby makes that I have planned, then you can stay to the end of the video, kind of thing. It's not really fall yet here in Utah, but it is a high of 78 today, which is the coolest it's been in a very long time. So I am enjoying it. And I am so happy that it's like a little bit gloomy outside. I am really excited for fall. It is my favorite time of year. So I have a lot of really fun plans that I'm excited to share with you. The first pattern I want to share with you is one that's been on my queue for a really long time. And I kind of forgot about this pattern because I was focusing more on my hand-dyed yarn stash. But in going through some of my older stash, I realized that I have the yarn set aside for this project. And this would be perfect to make this time of year. This is the Campsite Waffle Cardigan by Alexandra Tavel, and I have some Snuggle Puff yarn in the color Fawn, I think. This is from Knit Picks or We Crochet. I don't even know if they make Snuggle Puff anymore. If they do, I'll link it down below. But it's like a, not quite an unspun, but it's definitely a single ply yarn that is very lightly spun. It doesn't feel like it is super structurally unsound though. Like it feels like it's got a little bit of strength to it. And that's because it is a 70% Pima cotton and 30% nylon. So unlike an unspun wool, this has a little bit more structure to it. It is an Aran or a heavy worsted weight yarn. This pattern calls for an Aran weight yarn, so I think my gauge is gonna work great for this. We'll play around with it, and I think it's gonna be really nice and drapey. I've not worked with this yarn before, but I remember I was trying to find an affordable yarn option that would hit this gauge, and this is what I landed on. And this color just screams fall to me. I like this light beige tone. I feel like it would look good on me because I'm a little bit more yellow toned in general. So I'm really excited to be able to work on this. And we'll see, it's kind of an oversized cardigan with this cool waffle type texture. So I think it's going to be a really fun project to knit. If you've watched any of my bookish blanket make-along videos, then you'll know that I have one pattern in mind that I'm going to prioritize and make during this make-along season. Definitely check out those videos if you haven't heard about my make-along yet. But basically we're making blankets, and some of it is book inspired. It's fun to be able to have like bookish yarns or bookish patterns, but also to just look forward to having a cozy blanket to snuggle up in when you are reading a book when this is all done. The blanket that I am planning on making, if I don't get to any other blankets during this make along, is the Warm Welcome Baby Blanket by Jess Copham. And this is found for free, I think, on her website. But basically, I just want to make a really simple color block chevron blanket using some crochet, and I have for that this Surrey from Red Door Fiber Co. This is all in Emily Henry inspired colorways, so I don't have quite all of the colors. Let's see, funny story colors I don't have in Surrey, and the Beach Read colorway is from Explore Knits and Fibers, but all of these other ones are Emily Henry contemporary romance inspired colorways. And so half of them are tonals, half of them are variegateds. I'm going to alternate between the two and kind of do a pseudo fade between the colors, but it's still going to be for sure color blocks. So it's going to be really simple. I'm holding this with Stroll Bear, which is fingering weight yarn. I am waiting for my package to get here. I'm really excited to cast on, so I can actually prep this yarn really soon because my package should be here any day now. but I'm gonna be holding this Surrey with that stroll to make the yardage go a little bit farther, to make a DK weight blanket, and it's gonna be so warm and snuggly. I'm so excited. These colors are definitely more summery than fall, but I think with the Surrey, it's gonna be a really great project for a fall cozy blanket that I've really had in mind for a while, and with this make along, I get a chance to make it. Just get that little extra push that I needed. The next pattern I have, as I'm looking at it, I might not have enough yarn for it, so I might have to get more of this. This is the Curiosity Hat by Tori Yu, and what really caught my eye is that this is a really good pattern for pairing a solid color with a like barber pole yarn or a hand spun or a spin cycle yarn or something along those lines. And I have this random skein of Halloween yarn from Spin Cycle. I think my mom bought this for me. This is a winner. It's called Burning Sensation is the colorway, but I forgot that their skeins are only 50 gram skeins, and I need a little bit more than this to make a hat for me, though maybe I should just make a hat for my daughter because she loves Halloween. I think she would really enjoy it, and I definitely have enough yarn to make the child size in this. I would probably just get like a cascade in white or cream or something to contrast. I haven't decided yet, but I'll go to my local yarn store and get something to supplement. So yeah, maybe I'll make this for my daughter, but I love this Halloween. This would be really fun to make. This pattern does come in multiple sizes: baby, toddler, child, adult small, adult medium, adult large. So this would be fun to make as like a smaller project accessory in time for Halloween. I'll have to ask my daughter if she would love a hat in this. I think I'll make one for her. If she doesn't care, or she really cares but she doesn't want a hat in this, then I will have to see if I can find this colorway somewhere else and maybe get a second skein or figure out how to adapt the pattern maybe. I really like how it looks with the color changing yarn on just the brim of the hat. So maybe I'll get enough yarn to make top portions of the hat in a tonal or a solid color, and then just do the brim on either side in this, maybe do some kind of adaptation there. I'm not sure. I'll be thinking about it. Speaking of accessories, I really want to make the Severn side set. So it's a hat as well as some mittens with these beautiful cables on them in this Woolfolk yarn. This is Tauve DK, literally the softest yarn I've ever felt. Woolfolk has such beautiful yarns, and I bought this recently from Wasatch and Wool, which is a yarn store in Park City that the owner was retiring. So I need to follow up and see if they've sold it to someone else or kind of how that all turned out. But I know that they were retiring, which is really sad, but it was one of my favorite yarn stores. It's so hard to see, but it's this beautiful, really dark plum color. This pattern set is by Annabelle Williams, and you can get it for free by subscribing to her newsletter. So I have done that. I have the patterns, and I'm really excited to be able to make this. I have enough yarn to do the whole set, and I thought it would be fun to just use this really luxe yarn for some accessories for myself. And this color is really speaking fall to me, but I think it will definitely transition into the winter with these beautiful cables on it. I just think this would be really fun to make. I should have enough yarn. I'm probably gonna start with the mitts just to make sure I don't run out like halfway through the second mitt or something, if that was the last thing I was making. And then I can make the hat fit me well if slouch is just not going to work with the amount of yarn I have. I should be totally fine yardage wise, but just smart yarn management, that's what I'm thinking. If you've been following me for a little while, you know that I've been participating in Sarah Shira's Year of Gnomes make along, where every single month you knit a different gnome from her many patterns, and you post about it in a Ravelry group. And I don't know if there's anything special if you complete every single month, but I thought this was a really fun way to use up some stash yarn that I have, to make a lot of fun gnomes, to work on some projects I've been meaning to make, and to just, yeah, have a lot of fun making something small that is not socks, just to kind of change it up a little bit. And I've been doing really good so far. I've done a gnome every single month. And for the month of October, my plan is to participate in the Mystery Gnome Knit Along. There are 2 different gnome patterns within that. They're called Numpkin and Nettle. So one is more pumpkin-y themed and one has like a witchy twist to it. I think I'm gonna make the witchy one. So I pulled some yarn from my stash. This has been a big goal of mine with making these gnomes, gnomes is to not purchase any yarn, but to use mini skeins, scraps, etc. from my stash in order to make these gnomes. So this is the color palette that I'm thinking. They've recommended that you still have a pumpkin-y color for the base of the pattern. And then I'm gonna do, for contrast color 2, I'm gonna do this black, I think, though we'll see. And then for the skin color, I'm gonna do this purple to have some witchy vibes. Though I might switch it up a little bit. Problem is I just don't have a lot of like Halloween colored minis. I had to pull this mini skein off of a sock set that I was thinking about using it for, but the gnome is calling and I don't really have a lot of pumpkin colors. So this will have to do for this pattern, and it will not be part of the socks. One pattern that I'm seriously considering that I don't have any yarn for, but I want to share here is the Mom's Hug sweater by Anne-Katrine Stoll. It's kind of hard to figure out how much yarn I need because she held a lace weight yarn double and added a mohair. So like, what is the final gauge? My guess is the final gauge is going to be somewhere in the DK realm. Sport weight to DK realm, but I don't actually know. So I'm thinking about this sweater. One reason is I am pregnant and I really don't feel like making a regular sweater. I'm gonna share a couple here that I am considering since sweaters take a while, and so I probably won't be pregnant by the time I finish working on those sweaters. I'm just not feeling casting on something that I can't even really try on well because my belly is getting so big. But this sweater is really cool because it's got this like, not a cross front, but it's this layered front, and it looks really, really flattering on pregnant bodies. And it also is very useful for breastfeeding after having the baby. So I think that this sweater would get a lot of wear from me right now, as well as into like my early postpartum days. I could see myself wearing this a lot this winter if I work on it really soon. So I'm still thinking about what kind of yarn I'd wanna pick. I'm trying to decide if I want something that's pretty affordable, that's pretty reliable, like a Cascade yarn that I can get at my local yarn store, or if I wanna get something that's a little bit more luxury and fancy to kind of treat myself. I haven't quite decided. I think I'm leaning towards something a little bit more affordable, just because with breastfeeding, this is probably gonna get kind of messy. Postpartum's a messy time. I would feel better about wearing this often if I didn't have to worry about the outcome for the sweater from like just being worn on a day-to-day basis. So I'm seriously considering this sweater. I don't think I'll do as much positive ease as is recommended in the pattern just because of how I like my sweaters to fit. I think I would knit the size 2. So that would still give me like 4 to 5 inches of positive ease. I think that'll be plenty for me and what I like, but I'm still thinking about yarn possibilities and how much I want to work on gauge and getting gauge, because there's not a lot of projects on this pattern and I am not going to be buying the yarn that this designer used because it's just not feasible cost-wise, and I don't want to hold 3 strands together. I will probably pick a DK weight yarn and swatch it and see if I can get close to the gauge that I want. DK or sport is kind of what I'm thinking. So TBD if I'm gonna make this or not. A couple sweaters that I do have the yarn for and are feeling very fall to me that I might again cast on anyway, just because I know by the time I finish them, it'll probably be after I have this baby. Those 2 patterns are the Birch Pullover by Andre Mowry, and I have this beautiful Woolbury Fiber Co. Sandcastle colorway to make that. And I've just been feeling very brioche, and I think this is fisherman's rib or half fisherman's rib, so they're very related, and so that might scratch my brioche itch of, you know, I really want to work on some brioche soon. So that might do it for me. I just love the texture. This color is a neutral with like a little bit of pink tint. So I think this will be really beautiful in that sweater. And the other sweater that is giving me fall vibes that I'm thinking about maybe casting on, that'll be a longer term project, it is the Bibliophile by Alicia Plummer. And I want to use this colorway by Sorella Yarn. This is Autumn in New York. So pretty. Again, kind of a simple textured sweater, nice and cozy vibes. So I have all the yarn to make either of these sweaters. It's just kind of what I'm feeling and what I want to cast on. TBD what I do. But if I cast on anything, I'm going to cast on the Mom's Hug sweater first so that I can get a lot of use out of it during my maternity and postpartum periods. I have an idea to use this really beautiful yarn that's giving me Halloween vibes for a cowl pattern. And this yarn is kind of a mix. These two skeins are from Sinful Yarn, and this one is from Yarn Cafe Creations. They are family. Mom, one of the daughters. Dragon Horde Yarn, Tristan is another of the daughters. So it's really fun seeing them all at like a yarn festival, and like they're all in a row, all together in like a massive booth. This base is the same between the two dyers. It's a fingering weight with some rainbow stellina and some rainbow tweed. So very, very interesting base, very colorful. And I picked up these 3 skeins to make some kind of like a Halloween-y type project, some kind of color work, something or other. And so my thought is to adapt the Spellbound doodle patterns from Jamie Lomax to use fingering weight yarn, or maybe hold this double and make a small cowl or something, just to use these colors because I think they would go really well together. This one from Yarn Cafe Creations is just called Vanilla. And then these from Sinful Yarn, Court of Dreams, really beautiful variegated purple. And then the Underworld. It's definitely a tonal black, slightly variegated. There's definitely some variety in the tone there. So yeah, I'm thinking about making this. This is lower down on my priority list, but I think these yarns together would work really well for like a witchy type of Halloween type of accessory. So that's why I'm thinking a Spellbound cowl. I could do a Spellbound hat. I could do Spellbound socks, maybe. Though I don't know if I'd like that with the tweed and the stellina. There's a lot going on with this, so I would really want the pattern to show off these colors, but also use them in a way where it's still easy to see what's going on despite the chaos happening. I pulled out a bunch of fall-themed yarns that I don't have plans for, but you'll notice I didn't really talk about socks, and I knit a lot of socks. I think I'm just gonna go with the flow and what I'm feeling in the moment on what socks I may want to knit, what I will want to cast on when the urge strikes. So here's some yarns that I feel like would be good for spur of the moment cast-ons. But one thing that I am kind of planning, this is Earth Tones Girls Falling in Love yarn that they did in collaboration with, who was it? Woolens and Nosh. And it's a 90% superwash targhee, 10% nylon base. So that targhee is definitely going to give it a little bit more structure and not quite tooth, but it definitely feels different than a superwash merino that's a little bit smoother and silkier of a base in comparison to the targhee that's just got a little bit more structure to it, even though they're both superwash. How I'm comparing them. But this is a self-striping colorway that's very fall themed. I have an idea to review Denise's recent book, the No Fear Sock Knitting book. This is her method of teaching how to knit socks. She's got tons of YouTube tutorials, patterns, etc. And now she has a book. So I wanted to work my way through the book, do a video review on it, look at some of the tips and maybe apply them to knitting a sock, and try her shadow wrap heel maybe. I thought it would be really fun to use yarn that she helped design in a collaboration for that video. So I think that's what these are gonna be, but they're gonna be a pretty vanilla-y sock with just some modifications that Denise suggests. So I'm excited to learn from her. Other yarns that are just really calling me for the fall, Northwoods Fibers, Vintage Halloween. This is a DK set. It's got like a tweed in it. I have the Vintage Thanksgiving I already used for some socks, and I'm really feeling DK socks right now, so that is high up on the list. This is Kimber's Cozy Creations in the colorway Fall Harvest. It is an 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. It's the Luxe MCN DK base. Maybe socks, maybe a hat. I don't know. I just really love the colors. This is Moss and Wand Forever Your Pumpkin. And their 75-25 base. Little less common of a base. This is from Snowdrift Alpacas in Butte, Montana. 70% alpaca, 30% nylon. Interesting, but these colors are very fall. It's called Fabulous. It would be fun to try and see if I would like socks made with alpaca. They would be very cozy. Couple sock sets. This is Woolbury Fiber Co.'s Pumpkin Pie sock set. Kimber of Kimber's Cozy Creations has a pattern that has this really cool pumpkin pie texture. these would for sure become that pattern. And speaking of Kimber's Cozy Creations, another sock set, and this is where I stole that pumpkin colored mini from. This sock set is called Sleepy Hollow. I think it'll still look really pretty with the magenta, but maybe I'll wait until the gnome knit along is done to see how much orange I have left, and then I could use that orange still in this sock set because it was really fun and punchy with this beautiful variegated. I'm not letting go of that idea yet. Arcane Fiberworks, this is Autumn Drive. Again, nice and moody. They do a really beautiful job at matching colors in pictures to their colorways. And then finally, Stress Knits, their favorite base, their 80/20 in squad gourds. All sorts of different like squashy, gourdy colors. Definitely a little bit more on the muted side, but still very fall themed. So some of these will probably become socks within the next few months. We shall see. I'm just gonna fly by the seat of my pants and see what's calling to me. The last fall pattern I have to talk about is kind of a Christmas pattern, actually. So this is a good time to transition into the Christmas patterns that I want to make before the end of the year. But this is not a gift, and so that's why I included it in this portion of the video. This is the Heirloom Quilt Cardigan by Katrin Seeberger. So beautiful. Like, I am in love with this. What really caught my eye with this pattern was Witchfire Fibers was making this pattern with her yarns from her Christmas collection that she's been doing the past couple Christmases. Oh, this was over a year ago now. So it was Christmas 2023. This yarn's been in my stash for a minute. Witchfire Fibers was making the Heirloom Quilt Cardigan in her colors from this collection, and I was sold. I needed it. I thought that would be amazing. And so I bought that collection in order to make this. So I would definitely have to figure out how I would play around with all these colors, but this is in the Toil and Trouble white tweed fingering base. That white tweed is just really interesting, and I think brings in the wintry vibes. So pretty. Ooh, okay. I don't know if you care about the colors, but this variegated white with a little bit of blue is called Fractals, Sagebrush, Tenderhearted, Verdant, Rosé, Comfort, and Mold. So I'm sure that these colors would come back for Witchfire Fibers at some point in time or other. So it'd be really good for me to start working on this, hoping to get it done maybe by Christmas this year as like a Christmas sweater for me. We'll see, because I've not been successful at finishing Christmas sweaters in a reasonable amount of time. But if I can get a really good start on this before Christmas, if I need more yarn of any specific color, I can always buy some. I think this will be enough yardage wise, but it's just playing around with colors, and maybe I'll decide I want sleeves in a certain color or a certain color for ribbing, and so I need more of that kind of thing. But total yardage wise, I should be fine. I just don't know how I want to play with my colors. Let's talk about Christmas gifts, since I definitely want to make some gifts this year. I have a few things in mind that I want to make, but the Heirloom Quilt Cardigan was for me. So let's move into gifts for other people for Christmas this year. First, I'm going to talk about a hat for my mom. She doesn't watch my YouTube channel. She's not on YouTube the same way that I am, but this yarn really was calling to me. It's called Pass the Puck. It is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, fingering weight from Lovejoy Fibers. I saw this while on the Utah Yarn Crawl, and I think I saw it at Seed Stitch, but it is inspired by the Utah Hockey Club, or Utah Mammoth as they are now called. And my mom, when she last was visiting, really wanted some Utah Mammoth merchandise, and they had just changed the name, and so we couldn't find any merchandise in any store, which was unfortunate. I thought it would be fun because she likes attending hockey games. I grew up in New York. We are Sabres fans. I thought it would be really fun to make a Musselburgh for her by Isolde Teague in this Utah Mammoth colorway that she could wear at hockey games or just out and about to kind of support the Utah Mammoth and support hockey in general. I'm really stoked about this idea. I thought that this yarn would be perfect. And so that's the plan, to make her a Musselburgh for Christmas. So that's going to be a gift for her. I did a lot of Christmas gifts last year, and so I don't think I'm going to, solicit my family for, what do you want for Christmas that I can make for you? I'm going to just make things as I feel inspired, or if they reach out to me. I don't feel the need to make Christmas gifts for everyone this year like I did last year, but I really want to make that hat for my mom, so I'm going to make that hat for sure. I also want to make Christmas socks for my family. I'll pop up a few pictures of years we've done Christmas socks almost every year I've had a pair of socks for each of my family members, my husband, me, and my daughter. Sometimes they matched or coordinated colors. Sometimes they didn't. Like the very first year, I just had Christmas-y socks that were not related at all. But I've done a couple years where our yarns have matched. And that's been a really fun tradition to have like a Christmas Eve sock so you can put on some cozy socks before going to bed and then do the Christmas thing in Christmas jammies, Christmas socks that mom made. And I really love doing that, and I want to do that this year, especially because we might have a fourth member of our family for Christmas. Strong might. I'm really manifesting that I will be home for Christmas with a baby, but we shall see. This baby is getting Christmas socks whether they're here for Christmas or not. And so that means I need to make 4 pairs of socks. I am waiting for yarn. I special ordered some yarn through Seed Stitch Store. There's some yarn that Yarnaceous Fibers had there, and I just needed more of it. So I am not in a huge hurry, though hopefully soon I'll be able to get that yarn and start working on those socks. I'll probably do vanilla socks. Again, I'm thinking DK socks for me. Maybe I'll just make DK socks for everybody, like hold the yarn double. I haven't quite decided, but I'm gonna do something pretty simple with just some Christmas themed yarn. So I get to make some newborn socks. I get to make some socks for my daughter, who is gonna be 5 by then. So they're starting to get bigger. And then my socks and my husband's socks, same stitch count, but his feet are a little bit longer than mine. I've kind of mastered the formulas for my family members by now, so it shouldn't be too hard to just knock out some vanilla socks. And then a final gift that I want to make for sure this year for Christmas, I'm going to make a leopard stuffy for my daughter. I have a plan to make a stuffy for our new baby to make things a little bit more fair, to make something for my daughter as well. I asked her and she really wanted a leopard stuffy. They do not have a leopard stuffy in the style I was looking at, so I'm going to have to hack it. But my thought is, I got this Knitted Wild Animal Friends book from Louise Crowther that is coming in the mail. I have the Knitted Animal Friends book, but this is wild animals, and I like the animals here better for what I'm thinking about making for my son. And so we'll talk about that in a minute when I talk about baby makes. But for my daughter, I think I'm gonna do the Sophie the Tiger pattern without doing the color stripes and without doing like the fringe, just doing like the face shape, the head shape. And then I think I'm gonna make some leopard spots and then sew them on. I don't know. I'm still figuring out exactly how I want to make this happen, but she's gonna get a stuffy leopard with some cute clothes for Christmas. And she was asking, she wanted like all the clothes to like change into. She's really loving dolls right now and changing clothes on dolls. So if I get a chance, I'm gonna make a few different outfits for her leopard stuffy, but I need to tackle the stuffy first. So that's the plan, but I'm going to hack some patterns by Louise Crowther in order to do that. All right, the section I'm probably most excited for, these are all the baby knits that I have in mind for my baby boy, coming hopefully for Christmas, but maybe a little bit thereafter. We shall see. But I've already got quite a bit of yarn set aside to make these patterns, so I'm really excited to share with you my thoughts on not only what I'm making, but what yarn I'm hoping to use. I'm using making baby knits as an excuse to get some yarns I've been meaning to try, to kind of test them out and see how I like them. So let's talk first about the stuffy I plan to make for my son. This is James the Bear by Louise Crowther, like I said, in the Knitted Wild Animals book. I was just looking through all the animals in the Knitted Animal Friends book. Nothing was really speaking to me, and then I noticed she had this other book. I looked in it and I fell in love with the bear. The bear was perfect, and I think I'm gonna try using Anchor Bay, which is a line by Cascade Yarns. It is 50% cotton, 50% superwash merino wool, and I think this might be a good fit for making toys. I'm not sure, fingers crossed, but I liked the colorway selection, and so I'm gonna give this a try. I am waiting for my book to come in the mail, and then once it does, I'll look at the yardage and I'll go back to my yarn store and pick out any other colors I need. But I wanted to like snag the color I think I want to make the actual bear in, and then I'll need like an accent color, and I'll need to make clothes and things like that. So more colors to come, but this color doesn't have a name. It's color number 27. That's not helpful, but it's this really pretty like brown to slate gray kind of, it's a dark grayish type of a color. So perfect for a little bear. I think the color palette I'm thinking for my son is going to be like a brown tan, like a sea foamy green, like a mossy blue, like is kind of the color scheme. So very naturey is kind of what I'm being drawn to. I don't know how much of that color palette we'll bring into the nursery because this room's gonna be the nursery and you can tell it's far from that right now. So I don't know if we're gonna like paint anything or just make sure that we get a couple like cute accessories that pull those colors. But it's kind of fun to have a color palette in mind when looking for yarn just to give me a little bit more direction. I'm planning to make the Little Gainsey sweater by Marie Green from her Knit a Little book. And I picked up this book while I was doing the Utah Yarn Crawl because I knew I was pregnant then and I needed some more baby knit and child knit ideas. And so this is a really cute sweater that has just right here on the upper chest some cute cabling and the rest of it is stockinette. So it won't be a super difficult pattern to do. It calls for Malabrigo Rios, which is a yarn I've used before that I've liked, that's more affordable but has a hand-dyed look to it, and I can find it at my local yarn store. And so I did that, and this is the colorway that I picked up. It's called Magnolia. And again, it's got like that tan, a little bit of blue and cream. So pretty. So it just takes 2 skeins for the smallest size. So that's what I'm planning on making. This baby is going to get a lot of cozy makes because we are in Utah and they're getting born in the middle of winter. So they need a lot more wintry things than my daughter did, getting born in October in Texas. Another yarn I want to try is the Sadness Garden Sunday. And the 2 colors I bought, does it even say on there? Dusty Lake Green, Putty. These will go together in a Friday sweater, whatever the baby size is. I don't remember what it's called. Friday Sweater Baby by Petite Knit. I have not made a lot of Petite Knit patterns. She's got quite a lot of baby and child size patterns, so I see myself making a lot, and I'm hoping I love this yarn because one of my local yarn stores stocks this. And so this is a good chance to try it. I just need 1 skein of each color for that cute striping look. Cute, cute, cute. So that's the plan for these. I'm hoping I love that yarn so I can continue to buy more because there's quite a cute color palette. This next make is probably one that I'm most looking forward to because it's just going to be so cute and cozy. This is the Mountain Romper Suit by Natasha Gizamova. And this uses an Aran weight yarn, so it's gonna work up really fast, like Aran weight for a newborn baby. This texture is just so cute and has the cute little buttons. This just looks so cozy. The yarn I'm gonna try for this is the Fiber Co's and Make Aran. And this colorway is called Aquaman. But again, it's that like a mossy blue-green type of a color. I don't know if there's a better way to describe it because it's not quite a teal, like it's in the teal family, but it's a little more desaturated. And I'm really feeling colors in this family right now. This will be so, so cute. It is I think 50% alpaca. Yeah, 50% wool, 50% alpaca. So it's gonna be so, so cozy. It's gonna work up so fast. So I think this is the baby make I'm most excited to get started on because I can just see us bringing our baby home in this, like over top of their onesie that they wear just to keep them nice and cozy in like transferring in the car seat and bringing them home. So I'm so excited. My last baby outgrew newborn size within a week of being born. She was huge. And I wouldn't be surprised if this baby is also on the bigger side. I think that's the way the babies tend to go, is they tend to be bigger for subsequent pregnancies and they tend to be bigger if they are male. It's only by like 2 ounces or something. Like it's not a lot statistically, but this baby will probably also be on the big side. So I'm gonna make not the newborn size, but probably like the 0 to 3 month type of size so they can wear it for the winter cold months. This next pattern is Hosenmats by Mayumi Kalasiak and Antje Litzman. Those are German names. This pattern is in English and German, so I'm okay that I don't speak very good German, but Hosenmats, I'm sure that is a word for something in German. So if you know German, let us know. But these are really cute, cozy pants that have a gusset and make these pants fit well over cloth diapers, which we cloth diapered our first. I'm planning on cloth diapering this child. And so having the extra room in the bum is perfect and exactly what we need. And it only takes one skein of finger and weight yarn. And so I was just looking in my stash and seeing what I liked. And I think I'm gonna go with this color. It does have a mini with it, but I'm really loving this color. This is Rather Boggy and Sad from Dying Wishes Yarn Co.'s Winnie the Pooh box that they did last Advent season. Blues, greens, browns is what I'm feeling for this baby as far as a color palette. So I'm gonna make some fun pants in this. If we love the pattern, then we may make more than one pair of pants. There's only 2 sizes available. There's like a 0 to 3 month size and a 4 to 7 month size. So we'll see how much wear it gets, but I think that this is going to be really cute and a really good way to use up some stash yarn that I don't necessarily have a solid plan for, but I do love these colors, so I think they will go really, really well. Oh man, it looks like I'll have to wade through the German pattern in order to find it. It might be free. It's hard to tell because again, the page is in German, but it says for the English pattern, scroll down and click on blah, 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 Hosenmatz auf English. So that makes me think that it might be free. That would be great. Or at least they told me where to go to find it so I can purchase it. So I'll have to let you know when I cast this on. And then the final pattern that I want to make for baby boy is a stocking for him. My daughter has a stocking that I made for her, the Sweet Pea stocking. And while I feel like it's a little bit small for her now, and I'd love to make her another stocking, I for sure need a stocking for this new child because they don't have a stocking at all yet. So I'm thinking about doing some kind of like a winter doodle or holiday doodle stocking pattern for him using different doodles from Jamie Lomax. I have not nailed anything down. I don't have yarns picked out, though I will probably choose a less toothy yarn because I've done some doodle patterns in like a toothier non-superwash yarn and I didn't enjoy the experience just the way that the gauge was for me. So I think I'm probably going to do like a Cascade 220 or something along those lines, maybe a Barocco Vintage DK. I don't know, something that I've used before that's a little bit smoother, makes an easier colorwork experience. Though I know that the toothier yarn is going to be better for like structure of a stocking. So I haven't decided yet. But first I'll make one for baby boy, and then if I have yarn left over, time left over, I would make one for my daughter as well. I think that would be really fun to have cute matching stockings. But she has a stocking right now that she really likes, so I don't have to make one for her this year. Though definitely in the future, if not this year, she'll get a new stocking, I think. All right, there you have it. All the patterns that I hope to make in this 4th quarter of the year, including a lot of fall makes, some Christmas makes, and some baby makes as well. Lots of fun patterns that I'm really excited about. Lots of yarns that I have in my possession, and I just got to decide what to cast on first. So let me know which of these patterns you really like, and if you've made any of these before, let me know what I should cast on first, because I just can't decide. Maybe I should do a vlog where I do a little cast on party and cast on a whole bunch of stuff and start working on some of these patterns. If you have any ideas, let me know because I have a lot of really awesome things to choose from and I'm really excited about so many of these makes. I just don't know where to get started. Thank you so much for being here and for watching this video. If you like this type of content and want to see more from me, then definitely make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification down below to be notified every time I post a new video. And definitely make sure to like and comment on this video so that others who are looking for this type of content can find me more easily here on YouTube. And until next time, happy making. Bye!